So I
Oh,
told the
look
guy,
at you.
"Hey, get your hands out of my pants."
He said, "No, those are my wife's pants. Why are you wearing them?"
Because I look fabulous.
What in the hell are you two talking about? Should I just hang up now?
Here's a
You
fun
ever-
fact. In the States here, the National Basketball Association, the NBA, and the National Hockey League, the NHL, both play 82 games a season. However, in Major League Baseball, a team has to win 82 games just to have a winning season. This is episode 82 of PHP Ugly, the Home Run Derby. Welcome, gentlemen.
You've already named it? You can't do that.
I name it every week. You just don't pay
He
attention
named it.
this early.
No, he named it last night after the World Series game.
But now everybody wants to leave. I got the office manager and his assistant all one out. All right, I'll be right back. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
I thought you guys came up with the name afterwards based on what we talk about.
No, I do.
Yeah.
You
But
really,
I let him think that he
you
came
really
up with
don't pay attention to the show, do you, John?
No, I don't.
I do it every week. And Tom always calls it something else, which is appropriate. You know, it's just a fun thing. But that's how long a baseball season is. You have to win 82 games just to be above 500.
Which
for your
means
season.
it's way too long.
Means those guys are athletes, my friend. That's the
No, I
best.
agree.
That's why it's the best sport on the planet.
I want to go best sport.
Best sport
Maybe
on the planet,
playing it.
baseball.
Watching it can be awfully damn
If
boring.
you were to come,
I wouldn't
to
even
a
call it the best
young-
sport in San Diego.
if you were to come
Ultimate.
to a young
San Diego
showcome
Growlers.
at age 8 or 9 and say, "Young showcome, what would you think if I told you the Houston Astros and the Los Angeles Dodgers were going to play in a World Series together?" I would chuckle at you. I would say, "Strange man from the future who looks very much like me but much older, you're very weird in that DeLorean you got out of, because the Astros can never possibly play the Dodgers in the World Series. It is impossible, could never happen." And lo and behold, a much more mature but better looking myself has discovered that it is indeed possible. Do you know why it wasn't possible, though, Thomas?
They were both in the
When I was a
NL.
child? That's right. They were both National League teams. The Astros moved to the American League, and now we have an Astros-Dodgers World Series. It's craziness, I tell you. It's 100 degrees in October, and the Astros are playing the Dodgers. It's absolute madness.
It was hilarious because 2 minutes prior to us saying, "Hey, are you ready to record?" I'm sitting here watching a YouTube video called "Time Travel in Fiction Rundown."
Because why wouldn't you be?
I don't know. I watch some weird YouTube videos sometimes. But it related to the show, so it worked out perfectly. It was meant to
There
be.
you go. Perfect. How are you gentlemen doing?
Oh, not too bad.
Well,
You know, the wheel keeps turning.
I gotta be completely
Which-
honest
which
with you.
wheel is
I
that?
have absolutely no content for the show this week, so
Come on.
yeah.
You got more content than I have.
Oh, that's depressing.
Well, it's usual. You guys, I see. I don't follow any, I don't read Reddit. I don't follow any news blogs. So
Don't
Don't
listen to any
stay up on that.
podcasts.
especially this one, I figure out why people do.
I've got plenty. I'll carry us.
You
That's
always
awesome.
do, Thomas. Always do.
You're a great guy, Thomas.
It might be about the failings of corporate America and rants about regulation, but
No, it
Okay.
won't be about
Okay, well
that.
then-
Come on.
Now, before you do that, we'll actually talk PHP. We actually had our Laravel meetup last night, and it went really well.
There's something monumental about last night's Laravel meetup, Thomas. It
What was
was
that?
the last Laravel meetup in San Diego.
Really?
Yeah. Well, not the last one. The next one, there will be one. It just will not be a presentation. We decided we're going to have a going away, like, get together at some bar somewhere and just kind of hang out one last time.
Yeah, the whole Laravel thing seems to have run its course. I mean, those who were interested in it and started using it kind of got their legs under them and not looking for that social interaction. Those who haven't, and there just doesn't seem to be that much of a demand for the meetup. I mean, the reality of it is the meetup that we were held, the majority of the people there were Diego Dev people. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Had it been the only meetup we were doing, I would have just continued doing it. It was perfectly fine. But we had another meetup that much of that same crowd attends, which is the SDPHP meetup. So
Sure.
It just seemed a little redundant. And knowing the year that I'm anticipating having next year with the conference and everything else going on in our lives, we have some other big news that we're not allowed
Big
to tell.
podcast. Oh, gosh, again? So this is what, like the 6th show in a row where you've said, "Hey, we've got some big news. You'll hear about it at some point in the future."
This is huge.
Why do you bring it up?
Because I want to tell you so badly, so badly. But
Are you talking
this-
about DM?
yes, this one
Okay.
involves lawyers and paperwork and what? Are you gonna say? Are you gonna tell them?
No.
Oh,
I was just teasing it out there.
yes. This one.
Thank you, guys.
So, we're right there. I was hoping to have everything done before the show tonight so that we could talk about it, but haven't done it yet, and it's just one of those things where we can't talk about it until all the lawyers are happy with the paperwork. So
But
we're
Wait, are you
this
two
is-
getting
this is
married?
close.
we can't talk about it yet. So, although this piece of news isn't going to be like drawn out until next year, hopefully in the next
No.
week or two we'll be able to discuss it.
Yeah.
Put it out there on the SD Fun Facts Twitter.
Nope. Doesn't involve the conference at all.
Nope.
This is strictly a Diego Dev thing. So we're happy. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm super stoked. It's been one of these things we've been working towards for a long time, and to see that light at the end of the tunnel, I was like, "Holy smokes! I can't believe this is about to happen."
Yeah.
And it's not my nonprofit that John keeps telling me I'm not going to do, because that's still happening too, and I would openly talk about that, but it's not that. It's something more fun.
So
I'll let you know.
yeah, that's exciting. But bringing it back to last night's meetup and the Laravel meetup kind of going away, we decided to merge the two, SDPHP and Laravel. We'll still have Laravel talks at SDPHP. That's kind of how the whole Laravel thing started, having the talks there, seeing this huge demand, and said, hey, let's branch off.
Every talk was
so-
about Laravel.
Yeah, so
We
we
spawned memes on Twitter.
so we decided merge them back together, and actually we are in 2018 moving the SDPHP meetup from downtown back to, is that considered Sereno Valley there or Mira Mesa?
Yeah. No, it's Sereno Valley.
Sereno Valley. So we're bringing it back up towards the middle of the county. So I think we'll lose some people. Hopefully we'll gain others. Hoping that the fact that it's kind of in the middle of everything, we end up with a bigger overall meetup, which would be nice.
I mean, the meetup location is always one of those tricky things, because you always have people complaining. When it's downtown, you had like a bunch of people, oh, I would go to the meetup, but I'm not going downtown. Like, and for the record, anybody who lives in a big city, downtown San Diego is nothing. It is nothing to drive to downtown San Diego. It's probably one of the easiest downtowns there is to get around in. But there
Yeah,
are
it's just
people who
Just a quick
who are-
2-hour drive for that 8-mile stretch.
there are
It's-
people who are adamantly against driving downtown. Period.
What?
So
Who?
we're looking forward. We're hoping that moving it out will. Now there are other issues with moving it to where we're moving it, which means San Diego has something called a South Bay, now Sereno Valley is a long drive for the people in the South Bay. We'll see how it works out.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't want to go back to two SDPHP meetups. Somebody has suggested that.
Well, there's also the fact that where we were hosting, I understand they made a business decision they provide space now, but they stopped providing drinks and food, which, I mean, that's huge when you're holding a meetup. It's expensive. So, we end up having to pick up the bill. So I think it's time to move from there, and hopefully it works out.
Yeah. Yep. So exciting things are happening. Our next Laravel meetup is actually a mixer. We're just gonna go drinking, and I'll just kind of reminisce and talk about things. No computers allowed. Somebody had already laid down that rule, so it should be fun.
Well, after John peed on that guy's laptop, yeah, it's generally nothing expensive allowed.
He didn't mind when I did it.
You were showcasing that it was waterproof. That's acceptable.
I don't know where you come up with this stuff.
I got my Chromecast in from my Yahoo YouTube TV.
Yeah.
Dude, I am all right. Side note, I am heavily medicated and drinking on top of this. I am in physical pain day in and day out, and it's getting harder and harder to manage. So, yeah, I'm starting to manage my pain through chemistry, legal prescription chemistry, but
it's legal. I'm just
The
combining.
most dangerous chemistry.
I got mine too.
Yes, you got yours too. Yeah. Now I have to cancel my account because, as John pointed out, I actually when you open up your YouTube TV account on a Google Apps, a G Suite account, you're unable to share with family members and things.
Yeah, so
Which
the whole
is a
thing with
huge problem.
YouTube TV is you can share with up to 5 other people, and for some reason on a G Suite account you can't. Not even the free tier. So I have, my personal domain, a free tier, and then Diego Dev, which we have a paid account. Neither one of those you can do it on. You have to have an @Gmail account to do so.
Yeah, I cannot figure out why that is. And as I was sharing with John, I had discovered that exact same model for the Google Music, and I hadn't discovered it until like a year or two after I had started using Google Music on my Diego Dev account, setting up all my playlists, importing all the music that I had on my computer into my Google Music, doing all this stuff, and then my kids were like, "Hey, Dad, can you share this album with me?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I can share up to 4 or 5 people. I'll just add you to my Google Music account," and found out I couldn't. I'm like, son of a gun, man. So now I had to go back to my Gmail account and start trying to get all the music and everything I had over to there. And I eventually gave up. I basically used my Gmail account to share with the family, and I still have my Diego Dev account, which at some point I've got to stop paying for and just start using my Gmail account. I just don't know why it's like that. There's got to be a reason. I just don't know what it is. Nothing makes sense to me.
It never does. Now it's a pain in the ass because
Nothing ever makes sense to Eric.
What's that, John?
I was saying now it's a pain in the ass because my Diego Dev account's my primary one on the computers I'm logged into. So then you go to YouTube TV and you have to remember to switch accounts.
Yeah,
it is a pain.
I'm in the exact same boat. I mean, I hadn't signed into some my older accounts in years, and the thought of having to keep switching back just to watch YouTube TV almost makes me think I'm not even going to bother with it right now.
I'm
I don't
trying.
know.
So my next step is to figure out, is there an alternate ISP in San Diego other than the cable companies that is worth their weight for what you pay for?
No,
Yeah, probably not.
no, there isn't.
Every time I've tried, I've
Way to
always
rain on my parade. Damn it. So I'm on that.
I
I'm on
looked.
I'm on that whole first year promotion thing, and it expires in a week or two. And
Oh yeah, you just call them up and tell them you don't want service anymore unless they give you the same bonus again, and they'll do it.
yeah,
I've done it.
Yeah, he's probably not wrong there.
true.
The general rule is you're supposed to call all of your service providers once a year and say that unless they give you some kind of benefit, then you'll be discontinuing service to switch to another provider.
I do that
And
Oh
every
yeah.
5 months with Sirius.
Oh really?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the way to
I
go.
called up. I just switched back over to Cox Cable for my television, and I called up my dish to let them know I was canceling. And they're like, "Oh no. We'll cut your bill by 40%. We'll send you upgraded hardware." That one of my biggest gripes was the hardware. We had the whole dish hopper hardware, and it had gotten so slow. And they're like, "Oh no, we have 2 new generations from them. We'll just send it to you." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why am I having to call you for this? It's like, I don't
'Cause it
want you to
costs them
send this to
money,
me
so-
now.
Yeah, they're not going to give you free shit
Good customer
unless
service.
you ask for it.
At least send me an email saying, hey, if you're interested, there's new hardware available on your account. Just let us know if you want it. Nobody reads
Why
those
would they
emails
do that? What motivates them to possibly do that?
because I would have probably stuck with them. If I had new hardware in the lower price tier, I wouldn't even thought about leaving them.
Yeah, but you were renting your hardware, right?
I don't know what I'm doing, to be
It's like
honest.
10
Yeah,
bucks,
I guess so.
$10 a month to rent the hardware. You probably paid it off 3 years ago, and you were just paying them $1,000 to keep it.
Yeah. So now I'm canceling just out of spite. Just because I'm like,
You ever sign up for something just to cancel it?
But how does that work with cable companies? Because you're kind of stuck with the one provider you can get.
Yeah, you just tell them DirecTV. You're going to go to an inferior provider.
Yeah, for television, it's easy because there's all these satellite television companies out there. For internet, it's a little bit trickier because only other if it's not cable modem, as far as I know, if it's not cable modem, it's going to be DSL. I mean, I think that's what
the guy in Missouri who takes your phone call doesn't know that. He just has a script. So you just say, "I found a better service. I'll be switching unless you can provide a competitive rate." And then they do. That's their script.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a DSL is still a competitive rate. You just tell them, hey, I'm looking at AT&T. AT&T, I see commercials for them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm looking at pigeons. Homing pigeons. I've started training.
Decide, do I keep YouTube TV or do I stick with the cable company?
Piracy.
Stop making me think.
Ditch
I
them
don't
both.
want to think right now.
Ditch them both. Get Usenet.
Yeah. Anyway, away from this stuff.
Our third PHP podcast got released. It was what I thought was probably one of the worst podcasts John and I had ever done. I actually got pretty good praise from the editor-in-chief of PHP Architect of how much more he enjoyed the natural language and talking we did.
But it wasn't that natural, which is the weird part.
I know.
I mean, it was more natural. It was more natural than the first two, but no, we know we listen and we know where we want to improve, and we'll get there. It's just,
I mean, like it's weird because the PHP podcast, like this podcast, I sit down, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to say. Like I don't know what I'm going to talk about from one sentence to the other. But the PHP
you're ready to
podcast,
cancel every episode.
Yeah, the PHP podcast, even if we don't script it, we know what we're going to talk about. It's kind of there in front of us. We have targeted topics, and it's so hard for that not to sound scripted. Because it is.
well, the big difference is with this show, we talk to each other, and it seems like on the PHP podcast, not only are we trying to talk to each other, but also talking to the audience a little more. And I think that's where it kind of feels weird.
Yeah,
at times.
we'll figure it out.
Well, and you
They
have an
haven't
audience
fired
in
us
that
yet.
podcast.
They haven't fired
Do we
us
ha-
yet, so
Are we losing viewers yet?
I'm sure.
I couldn't imagine why we wouldn't be.
We're so negative on our own show. It's kind of horrible. It's funny, but horrible.
How do you tell, Thomas? Are you looking at Simplecast?
Oh yeah, looking at Simplecast. Oh, that's weird. Our episode where we jumped the shark is much higher rated than the episode afterwards. We might have
Is the
actually
one where
jumped the
you-
shark.
Is the one where you guys fired me still the most highest rated one?
Correct, Mundo.
God damn it!
It's sting a little.
People really want to see me fired.
You know what our most popular listener location is?
Japan.
Yeah.
Nope.
Weird.
Yeah. What is with that? It's been Japan for months. I don't understand that. Must be where all like these servers are that do the podcast catching or something.
I don't know. And that's depressing. I'm not going to look at those charts anymore.
That's where all the bots are located that you paid to download to make our stats go up.
Oh yeah, right.
To make us cry. we have 300 listeners. I love all of our listeners, and we keep hearing from them, and I love hearing from our listeners. We get tweeted at least once a week, every couple weeks.
Once a month.
At least we get tweets at least once a month.
Okay, somebody mentioned this quarterly. So.
Yeah. Well, New Relic replied to a tweet you sent, which I don't. That's a corporate thing. I don't count that.
Oh, did you happen to catch the?
Frank works for us.
Let me get the. Frank has his own column in the stats, man. He. Did you guys
Cal
happen
Evans.
to catch the
Cal
the
Evans
Twitter?
says, "Do me a favor and don't mention me again."
Where was it? I had a little Twitter back and forth. I was speaking with what was her name? Friend of the show, Jessica. Jessica, I will butcher her last name. It's Maurerhan. Marie. I spoke with her. Mahulahan. Yeah, she's a fantastic individual, super smart. We interviewed her on Lara Chat Live once. I wish she would have agreed to be like a regular panel member because she was just so insightful, such a wonderful person to speak with. But we ended up on a Twitter back and forth on podcasts, and she was doing her little podcast list, and I'm like, hey, share what your podcast list is, and she's using Pocket Cast. So I shared mine, and Pocket Cast chimed in and told us how to export it so that people could go to a website and see what it is. And so we're appreciative, and we're sharing back and forth, and we're talking a little bit. And I mentioned to her about how she didn't have any PHP podcasts on, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't listen to any development podcasts." I forget exactly what her reply was. Pocket Cast kind of chimes in and says, and I'm this is all verbatim because I'm not looking at the tweet in front
Paraphrasing.
So not
yeah.
verbatim.
Not the opposite.
Not verbatim. Yeah, this is all paraphrasing. But basically, Pocket Cast jumps in and says, "Can we stop talking about PHP because I need to shower? Friends don't let friends PHP." I'm like, what? Fuck this guy. And before I could even tweet anything, Jessica tweets, so should I ask for a refund on my payment to you guys, or are you going to stop insulting the creator that pays my life and runs 80% of the internet? I'm like, yeah. Then of course I jump in later. Yeah. Fuck you.
Standing behind her, pointing over her shoulder. You fucking jerks!
Did they respond?
Kick their asses.
They had replied to her, and the reply that they gave her was so bizarre. It was like, "Oh, you win that round. you get 100 internet points or some stupid shit like that. It sounded very
Ugh.
bottish, like a bot had replied to her. But it was just like, yeah, you know what? And I have supported Pocket Cast for so long. I've praised its interface. It even came out with a desktop app. And now I'm just kind of like, you know what? Fuck those guys.
So our question is, if I title the episode "Fuck Pocket Casts," how many listeners do we lose?
Pocket Cast just like blacklist us.
Sure. No, I've got the stats for what Pocket Cast does for us.
Oh, do you? What is it?
11%.
It's probably high. Oh,
11%. Yeah, we can't afford that. we can't.
no.
We can't lose them. No.
I mean, that's like 2 people.
Yeah. No, that's like 8 people. They're all from Japan.
I was looking at my phone this weekend and saw that Bitcoin jumped over $6,000 per coin, and then looked at it yesterday and it was down to 5,500.
Yeah, 53. It
went
takes
down to
so
53?
far. It takes so far down.
It's back up near 5,900 right now.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
check.
Ethereum can't decide what the hell it's doing.
Why is it just jumping all over the place?
Yeah, it's just hovering around 290, 300, 310. Like it won't move to a solid location. But I did catch it on an upswing when it was over 300, and made my first actual Ethereum for tangible goods purchase.
Oh, really?
Yes. I saw something on the ETH Trader subreddit. So it's called Ether Cards. Have you guys seen this at all?
I saw when you posted, and I have 1,000 questions to ask.
It looks like a credit card. It's nice and shiny, nice little design. But instead of a mag stripe on the back, it's got a QR code, a wallet address below the QR code, which matches, and a scratch-off area where the private key is stored. And the idea here is that you buy these physical cards, and then you put money into the wallets that the card represents and give them as gift cards.
That's what I was wondering. They are gift cards.
Oh,
in
yeah,
that
yeah.
respect. It's not. It's a wallet in the sense that it has a private key, so it'll store your Ether for you. But
right. So the Ether is
spent.
bound. Yeah. So the public address is visible right when you get the card. You just deposit anything you want to straight into it. And you could continue to use it as a wallet if you wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend it. In fact, the reason I bought these cards is because they are a nice way for me to introduce my kids to cryptocurrency and all of the benefits and perils that it entails. So it's really, I purchased a lesson for my children on Christmas.
Thanks, Dad. What am I going to do with this?
You found the only gift worse than socks. Good job, Thomas.
It's $20. Kinda.
Maybe less.
It might be more. You never know.
Don't ever know if you ever be able to use it, but you know.
It's less right now. It's definitely less. Or I'll tell them I put $20 on there, and then when I pull up the site on Christmas, be like, oh no, it's only $10 now. Jeez, this market. Oh well.
Oh, you're a terrible person.
That reminds me like when I was young and my dad buying me bonds, and it's like, what am I gonna do with these things? I still have them sitting in my drawer behind me.
But they're probably worth thousands.
I was saying, have they not gone up in value?
What are you doing?
The whole thing is they go up to about what they're worth on the face value. You pay less to get them. So give me like a $50 U.S. savings bond that might be worth $50 today.
So cash it out. Wait, might be worth $50 today.
No,
If he gave it to you when you were a kid, it's going to go up with inflation still.
hand them down to your
Every-
child. Just be
I-
like,
No, I looked at them.
Here, you throw this away.
Couple years, and they still hadn't reached. Like they get to an end point where they won't mature anymore.
See, but at least you know how bonds work now. I didn't know that because my parents didn't love me.
But you were just telling me that they're going to go up with inflation. You didn't even know.
I didn't know. Yes.
he's making it up. He doesn't know this stuff.
Did you not know that that's how I operate on a fundamental level? Small amounts of information in, assumptions out.
I'll send one to you. You can have it.
Major assumptions coming out. Who's going to order? I don't even know if you can order them. Who's excited about a possible Gene PHP elephant?
Gene?
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want one. Yeah, ZenCon is wrapping up. And,
ZenCon Canada?
No, ZenCon US.
Then why is it Gene? Why is it denim if it's not Canadian?
It's what?
Denim is the Canadian
Denim?
tuxedo.
Oh, really? I don't know. I don't know these answers, Thomas.
Again, he's making stuff up. That's what he does.
John was supposed to go to this conference, and he wussed out. I still don't know why. He could have had one of these denim PHP elephants.
I was supposed to go too.
Oh, yeah?
Did he?
Yeah.
What happened?
Did he? Not everybody got one, did they?
I don't know. How's that? I don't know how that works. I've never gone to a ZenCon. I don't know how it works. I mean, it's a corporation. They got money. You think they just throw that stuff around like, paper? I don't know.
Which
Why
is
are they
what
throwing
money
paper
is.
around?
Because money is paper.
I don't know, man.
Not anymore. I thought it was digital.
Not yet.
Okay,
It's
so
getting
anybody
there.
getting one? No, nobody interested.
No.
I'm interested.
You collect them though. We don't. I don't
do.
collect them.
I ordered
I
the
do.
Cake PHP ones, and they haven't even made them yet. I ordered Cake PHP elephants, and
What are they celebrating?
That was like, well, they do have something to celebrate. Dun, dun, dun. They just hit 2 million downloads on Composer.
Really?
Cake
It's
PHP.
almost as if that was the perfect fucking lead-in.
You're still assuming that I had a method to my madness there, like I was planning things ahead of time.
No, I know you weren't, which is why I read your Twitter and prepare these intro segues for you.
But it's not a segue when you call it out.
Well, I was really proud
I
of
tell
it.
you this every week. Every week we tell you that.
Damn it.
You don't even have the card anywhere that I see.
Hey, you know it's
shooting
you know
from the
that this is going to be our Halloween episode.
Well, you're wearing an ugly mask.
I am,
Why is it our Halloween episode?
because we're releasing it on Halloween week. It's Halloween this week,
Oh,
Next
Yeah, I
on
guess
Tuesday
that
will
makes
be
sense.
Halloween.
and nothing
Yeah.
says Halloween like inviting strangers into your home.
are we going somewhere with
Wait
this?
to see where
I
it goes.
was really hoping there was more to that
I'm
statement.
moving the Trello card over. Shut up. Amazon Key.
Oh my gosh.
Amazon.
This can't be it can't really work, can it?
What is this?
This is the latest thing that everyone is making fun of that is actually really well done and interesting, but easily made fun of.
Of course, you're letting delivery people have access to your house.
Correct.
Granted, there's cameras and it's time based and
Correct.
it's a one-time use access, but
You're
Still
notified
secure.
when access is provided. You're given a video of access while it
Wait,
occurs.
You want to hear something super weird?
Ooh.
When I got my Chromecast in, I go to walk to the front of the house. Now, my kid, I'm home alone a lot of days because the wife works at a hospital during the day. Kids are at school. kids had come in and had left, and I turn around, and they had left some time back, and I go to walk to my kitchen, and I can see my front door, and I look over at my front door, and there's a package on the inside of my door in my house laying there. And I'm like, the hell's that? And I walk over to it, and it's my Amazon it's an Amazon package with Chromecast in it. I'm like, what? See, the kids put something. Why'd they put it in the house like that? And why didn't they tell me there was a package for me? It's weird that it was just sitting right there. And then I come to this page, and it's like, holy crap, that's what they did. It was just like that. Did they open my door and put my package in my door? Are we saying that it's okay for them to do that now? Did I hit something?
Nobody's saying that.
I'm terrified. What if he didn't leave? What if he's still here?
Well, you've got the office manager to protect you.
Okay, is this a real thing?
This is it. The thing is that the page looks totally like an April Fool's prank. Like right away when you see it, you just go, "Oh, that's too perfect." It's the layout of it is stark enough. The explanation about how it's not creepy or weird is totally absent. So they present it as something that's like, hey, look at this creepy new thing Amazon is doing, and it's a picture of a woman literally sneaking a package into your house. She's not putting it down on the ground. She's kneeling down on the ground, putting it down, and then pushing it into the house. Which is a weird way to put a package in a house. You don't slide it in like it's a covert op. And then the door's closed and the package is there, smiling at you because it's got the Amazon logo. Like, hey, how'd I get in your house? That's weird. Look at me. Oh my God, it's so sneaky. So it totally, step one, looks like it's fake. Also, the examples they give of, because you can source this out to a guest. So you can use like a house cleaning service or dog walkers, and they can walk up to your door and request access on your phone. You get a request and you grant it. Mm-hmm. They've got the two examples of a house cleaner and a dog walker. And the dog walker looks like a nice young lady. The house cleaner is dressed up like the guy from every ADT security ad ever. The dude has like a 5 o'clock shadow, a hat on, t-shirt and slacks and whatever, and then a bucket of random cleaning materials that you would never consider to be the proper equipment for cleaning a house. Like, if he's
don't
there,
judge the guy. He had a drinking problem. He's trying to turn his life around. Give him a break.
If that guy is at my house doing cleaning, he's just cleaning the toilet. He's only got enough equipment to clean the toilet.
Thing. This is a podcast. People can't see what you're talking about, right? So, like, the joke is kind of spinning its wheels at this point.
$250.
You have to pay for this, though? Really?
Yes. So naturally, this is getting like shot to shit on all the late night shows and news. They're just let the Amazon guy in your house. Oh. But the reality is that it's a great system. And if you've lived in an area where your packages get stolen off your front porch, $250 is nothing to make sure that you always get your package.
A better system is a panel on the door that would let them slide it through without a full-size body going through.
Okay, put your TV through that hole.
No.
But prevent a person who's TV-sized from getting through it.
How often do you buy TVs from Amazon?
I have.
So here's the thing with this, though. I keep saying so. Man, I gotta stop doing that.
You said it twice. You said it 3 times in that sentence.
Or do I? I don't think I do. Here's the thing. Here's my question. Here's the point I'm trying to make. I don't know where you live.
Say that 5 more times in different ways.
But where I live, I don't have somebody dressed up in an Amazon shirt coming to my house. It's either like the post office, FedEx. There's a few different services. Occasionally, it will be a dedicated Amazon truck, but that's not like a given. So, are all these different industries having that capability now? Like, can the post office kind of come in my front door whenever they want?
Well, this isn't whenever they want.
That's a government agency, my friend.
So Amazon has the whenever they want permission, where if you've got a package scheduled for delivery, then they can just open the door after knocking and put it inside the door and then close the door. But any other service that you want to provide this to, like local house cleaners, dog walkers, babysitters, they have an app where you just request access.
You didn't hear my question, though. I'm talking about Amazon packages. Amazon doesn't always deliver Amazon packages to my house.
I think if you sign up for this, then Amazon will make sure that all your packages get delivered by their guys, or they're working with UPS to make sure that the delivery gets through.
That's my concern. That's exactly what's terrifying me, is that they're allowing their outsourced channels this ability. This is the statement I'm trying to stress to you. Do you not see how weird that is?
They just need to provide Amazon lockers to everybody. Put outside their front door, and then problem solved.
Well, and the other thing is that when the delivery is happening, it pops up on your phone with the live video feed of the delivery being made, and them dropping the package off in the door, and then closing the door and leaving. So, I guess if somebody...
Are you trying to make me feel better? I don't know. You're not doing a good job at it.
If somebody at UPS decided that they were going to try and steal your TV or steal your stuff from your house, it's pretty guaranteed that they would get caught, not only because they're the ones making the delivery, but there's video of them doing it. So
I don't
see
put a camera inside your house.
This is
it's interesting.
I like the idea of... I like the idea of the lock system, and like you said, giving certain people access to the house. Like when we go out of town and we need somebody to come over and watch the house, giving them access to the house. I like that. I totally get that. It's
super easy to do.
It's just the random delivery person bringing something to your house. You don't know who they are. Being able to come to your house. That's weird to me. That's super.
But they don't even go in the house. They just slide the package into your house and then close the door. It's the phantom delivery system.
But they kneel down first.
Yeah, no, it's creepy.
All right. They need one of those bomb robots to do it.
I would be much more frightened if a bomb robot just started strolling through my house. Package for you, sir.
I was switching gears away from this. I was on GitHub.
1 minute pause. What? 1 minute.
What? This is like a regular thing with you now.
Yes, everything. Yes, everything's regular with me. I'm a very regular person.
You guys gotta pee before we start recording. What the? Wake up, John. This is all your fault.
Just want to make the point and go back to... This is supposed to be a short podcast. Short.
I'm pretty sure we're close to being done here.
We moved 3 out of like 30 cards.
We don't do the cards anymore. You really need to pay attention more frequently. The cards aren't... Whatever cards are in mine have been there for like a month. Let me see. What cards do I have? I have... Alexa, yeah, that's garbage. When did I put that one here? This one's from September 29th. That's a month old.
Get rid of it then.
Archive that one.
I had
home security. Amber tells controversial friends I didn't need to understand encryption work. Whatever.
I gotta remember what I was talking about when he so rudely interrupted me. Oh, I remember what it was. I should write it down so I don't forget.
You know that feeling you get when you have just enough alcohol where like around your lip starts getting numb?
Oh, that's the best. That's when you
I'm
stop.
right there.
That's when
I'm
you
right
stop.
there.
That's where you keep pushing forward.
We allowed to start again?
Yeah, go on. Who's stopping you?
I was on GitHub yesterday and noticed that the fave icon is different based on your build process. So if you have checks that you do within GitHub, if they have failed or passed, there's a little check mark or an X in the fave icon. So on the tab, you know exactly what's going on. It was just a little touch, and I thought that was pretty interesting. So then I started looking at how they do that, and it's a simple, I think it was a link tag in the head section of your page to say where the fave icon is located. And
See, I'm not seeing this, John. I
very
saw
easy to
you
do.
tweet about this.
I thought they got cached. I thought favicons were like super cached.
But fave icons, if you don't specify in the page which one to load, it is, because it just goes to /faveicon.ico, right? But you can also specify what the fave icon URL is supposed to be in a link tag, and then it pulls that one. So now it's going to cache either success or failure, but because they're two different links, it's not per location.
So this is on a pull request?
Yeah.
I am not seeing this at all.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Look in the Diego Dev repo and tell me one that you see it on.
But do you have checks set up for it?
Yeah, we have Scrutinizer. Does that count?
Yeah, should.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either.
Oh, is that a check? Oh, it's very faint. Oh,
Where do
yeah. I think
mean, in the bottom right hand corner, so under the OctoCat.
I see it.
how did you even see that?
Because I happen to have two tabs open, one with an X and one with a check mark. I'm like, wait, what's that? So I noticed it, and then it was like, wow, that's really it's an interesting use of the fave icon. And Inbox does that because they changed it. What? Yeah,
maybe
there you
because
go.
our builds never fail.
Well, you have to have tests to fail.
It's not tests, it's the status checks. But anyway, Inbox does that with the number of emails you have in your inbox. But I never took the time to figure out how they were doing it. And then saw that. Just thought it was interesting.
Speaking of stupid style tricks, did you know that you can reference emojis or emoticons as CSS selectors?
Why would you do that?
Some kind of self-hate, I imagine.
So wait, you're talking about not generating emoticons with CSS. You're talking about the actual selector within the HTML of your page?
Right. So if you class a div with the poop emoticon, then you can legitimately reference that class with .poop.
That sounds ridiculous.
Oh, man.
It is totally. I don't know. I just imagined it's some compatibility thing that occurred.
Do you think that's a compatibility thing?
Yeah, because it's just a Unicode character. Yeah, it probably just happens.
Yeah. It wasn't like somebody created this. Hey, let's do this. It's text.
No, but you know what was created? What's that, Tom?
You and your pauses.
Guys, suck it. No, you're supposed to say what?
What was created, Tom?
There is
a show. It's free.
There is a family emoji. 2 parents, 2 children.
Same sex.
Yeah, all yellow, and different genders.
Oh, okay.
But
all right.
Because
because
that's not very inclusive.
Okay, there we go.
That emoji is actually something called a ligature. So
Okay.
you can actually do replacements with selected emoji. So if you take it into JavaScript, you put the family emoji and then tell JavaScript to replace the young boy emoji in the family picture with the young girl, it will output a family with a young girl in its place.
Okay. I'm sure
It's
there's a use
really
case for that.
It's really cool. I pasted it in the podcast.
So, friend of the show and Diego Dev
Ugh.
employee, not employee. Sorry, John. Diego Dev person.
Contractor.
Jason sent me an interesting
Guys suck.
book, I guess. You're really killing me on this transition here, Thomas.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
So we have we're working with a new contractor who is strong in JavaScript, liking the guy a lot, Jason Lamb. He came on board. He runs one of the JavaScript user groups here in San Diego. So the guy fits right in. He's passionate about the platform. He's passionate about the technology. Even though he is interested in PHP and specifically Laravel, but he's definitely stronger in the JavaScript world.
I should go to the Laravel user group. Oh no. Oh jeez.
He shared with me a PDF today, or he actually shared with the group in Slack a PDF called State of Vue.js Report 2017. And I'm like, it's a PDF. Why is this a PDF? Thinking that it was like going to be this, what are those graph things called, Graphmatics or something. Open this thing up, and it's like this 80-page book of all that's great about Vue. It's kind of cool because it does state near the end of it does state a bunch of case studies of companies that are using it, why they chose it, and the benefits that they're experiencing. But it's just like this. I started reading it, like you're kind of into the first page. You're like, oh, okay, oh yeah, wow, this is kind of going on. Wow, this is really, really going on. Whoa, it's just like I don't know why you would have this book. That's what I was telling Jason. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, why would I have this? When would I ever need to reference this information?
Yeah, but then he told you.
I love his TLDR. Vue good, Vue easy, Vue here to stay.
that pretty much sums it up. I mean, that's really all you need to know. Now, it wasn't, according to Jason, this wasn't done by Evan Yu. He participates in it, but this was actually commissioned or put together by a design agency in the UK. And again, I'm not sure what their motivation on doing it was either, but I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw it out there. If you're into this stuff, if you're trying to sell Vue in your enterprise, and you guys have these big formal meetings on the platforms you choose, maybe go download the State of Vue.js Report 2017. I'm sure it has some slide. You could grep some slides out of it.
That's the target audience. I mean, it says so on the cover page. It says everything you need to know to make an educated decision about your technology stack.
But it's not.
So
it's about choosing Vue.
Right, but they open with
it's not everything. Not everything.
What group out there do you think just publishes regular reports on what the best technology stack is?
I don't know. This
What's
seems
the
long.
point?
It's a great doc. It's for CTOs.
Pretty graphs in there.
Can you please make a video? Make a movie of this?
Hey, look at this. Oh, I could have used this last week. 81% of surveyed participants say that ease of integration is one of the chief advantages of having Vue in their organization's tech stack. Couldn't have been 82%. I could have used it for the show opener. How many pages is it? 82 pages? Could I have said that?
No, it's 80 pages.
Damn it.
You lose on every front with this one.
View is just coming up short again. There you go.
Thanks, Evan.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool. Also learned Jason is a fan of Rethink DB, which we had spoken about in very old episodes of PHP Ugly. I'm kind of always kind of playing around with different data stores and a lot of the NoSQL stuff. Been doing some proof of concept stuff with CouchDB. Been a big fan of Rethink DB. Hadn't even realized that when I was looking at Rethink, it was quote unquote. Well, I don't know why I'm saying quote unquote. It was a company, but it was this open source company. Like their product was open source, and they were trying to do the whole "we'll make money off support." Turned out that wasn't really a good model for them, and they ended up having to close the company. But they wanted to keep the Rethink database stuff open source. And there's this long blog post about the challenges. Oh, and there's actually a podcast as well. Changelog has a podcast on it, talking about some of the challenges of getting the property back and being able to get it open sourced. And I just thought it was real interesting. It's like it kind of really speaks to the power of open source. Even though the company goes away, the people who were behind it they're still passionate about it. Yeah, they were trying to make money off it, and nobody can fault them for that. But the project itself continues to live on, which is nice. That's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, Forrest.
Okay, good job.
We're not actually using Rethink anywhere, are we?
Why do you say it like that,
Currently?
John? Why do you say it like that, John? You make it sound like it would be a bad thing if we were. I'm just saying.
Rethink.
I was wondering if whatever I want. Do you need me to put together a big 80-page report of the state of Rethink DB 2017 PDF?
So Rethink
put together an 80-page report on how to get out of this episode of the podcast.
That would be an open source.
Report.
It went closed source.
What went closed source?
What's closed source?
Synergy.
It's fully closed source now.
So Synergy is working on a new version that they're currently in beta testing that removes, from what I can tell, all of the open source elements and is attempting to go completely closed source.
Really?
Which upsets me a lot. So fuck Synergy. Taking a good thing.
Something else would be along to replace it.
I hope so. It really bums me out because I've talked on the podcast in the past about how they've paywalled the compiled versions for Windows and Linux and made it more and more difficult to get the free version of the open source code. And this is just another step to squish on that, and that's such a bummer to me.
I mean, I think the reality of it is they'll just come to the harsh realism that the product doesn't have a sustainable model. Like, I don't know. I don't see that many people paying for it. Is it a one-time pay, or
they
is it
advertised? It's a one-time right now, but I think it might go annually. And they advertise on all the big tech channels on YouTube, like all.
I don't really. They don't advertise on ours.
All the big tech channels on YouTube.
I don't see that model being sustainable. I don't know. I could be wrong.
They make a lot of corporate sales.
But
I
people
assume
that need it probably already have it. I don't know.
Add a new computer to it and try and add the executable. It's a pain in the ass now. But I do have some good news. You guys want to hear the good news?
I want to know about.
Shows
Yeah, what are you
over.
going to talk about? There's a card I want to know more about, but I'll let you go.
Portugal.
We have
Has banned-
fans of the show, friends of the show down there.
I'm liking what Portugal's doing right now. Portugal banned the use of DRM to limit access to public domain works. So Portugal updated their code of copyright and related rights so that anything that's owned by the public cannot be DRM'd. Anything that is done for the sake of releasing your own media is legal. So if you bought the DVD, you can rip it. So they're establishing this new bill of rights for the media that you own. And I'm a big fan of this. So there's the anti-circumvention ban. So the anti-circumvention ban means that you can't get around DRM. It's in order to exercise your normal copyright limitations of ownership of media, you can do whatever you need to break it. Public Works. You're just sending me pictures of shy dogs now. God, I'm gonna cut this whole segment. What was the one that you're interested in there?
The first real estate sale sold through Ethereum.
They hurt your feelings,
Yeah.
Tom. But look at him. He's a cute puppy. He's so shy.
What painkillers are you on?
What are these things called? This is one of them. I don't know. I can't read that word. This word.
It's not focused at all.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, there was a developer from the Ukraine who sold his apartment to the co-founder of TechCrunch for $60,000 through an automated self-executing smart contract on the Ethereum blockchain. So this is considered to be, although probably not, the first transfer of real estate through a cryptocurrency channel.
It was the first transfer of $60,000 for real estate, but not the real estate isn't.
The real estate was
On the
sold through the
blockchain.
contract. The contract dictated the ownership of the property. So it was technically sold through the blockchain.
But there's nothing on the blockchain that represents that piece of property, which is
There
what we're trying to get to eventually.
No, there absolutely is something on the blockchain. From what I understand, the contract was drawn up that dictated before the sale that the owner of the token for the contract was considered the legal owner for the real estate, no matter whose hands it was in. And then it was transferred via the smart contract. So this would be the real legally binding asset to digital, physical asset to digital conversion.
Huh. Interesting.
I mean, that's the big deal, is that the reason it's not just some guy and some other guy is because it's two big tech nerds getting together to make a thing stand out as an example of how it'll work. So it wasn't, I'm sure actually plenty of property has been sold through the blockchain transfer. A lot of Chinese people are investing in America through blockchain transfers. But this was a straight up smart contract based transfer, and it looks like it's through a binding contract that transfers ownership to the token holder.
Love to see how they assign the physical document a token and how that was legalized or made legal. Like, did they actually go to an attorney and drop some sort of paperwork saying, now this is now this Ethereum token that can now be passed around?
Well, I can tell you that it was supported and managed through Propy, which is a real estate startup and decentralized title registry. So I believe that their goal is to corner the market early on decentralization of titles and management of these kinds of contracts of title goods.
Huh.
So
now wait for somebody to figure out a way to steal that token and now say they own that piece of property.
and that's the question. I mean, it's handled through a smart contract, and smart contracts are becoming more and more notorious for being vulnerable to various awful attacks. And I think this is putting $60,000 on the line and saying, "Hey, let's see if it does work."
Right. There's still the fact that if I stole that token somehow, making that stand up in court to say, "Hey, no, I own this property now." And I know we're still early stages and there's no precedents. And
Well, there are precedents though for possession equaling 9/10 of the law, and if you possess the token, then I think it becomes the onus of the complainant to say that it is their property. But I mean, if you look at property generally speaking, squatters' rights, renters' rights, and all that stuff, it's already a confusing thing to deal with. Titles just adds another thing to the mix.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought so. That's why I put it on my. You can put things on the Trello board as well.
I did. The very first thing we talked about. Thank you very much. This has been a fun episode.
Do you guys read the JFK files?
No.
Yeah, there's nothing to read.
Too many conspiracy theories around it already, and I think this is just going to add to them.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything at all.
It's all the same stuff we already knew.
No, all the stuff we didn't know got redacted again. Because literally some guy walked up to Donald Trump and said, "Hey, we know you love being crazy and all, but we also know you love being alive, so these pages don't get released." And he said, "Okay."
Is that how the conversation went down, Thomas?
I'm pretty fucking sure, because if you follow him on Twitter and you see how pumped he was to be the president,
that?
Dude, he was like fist pumping about the JFK files, that he was the president who got to release them. And then today he was like issued an official memo that was clearly written by somebody else that said, "For the sake of national security and protection of armed forces overseas, there are elements of the files which will not be released in this current document disclosure. Thank you." It's like, it's clearly someone threatened to kill, because it was not, it was such a U-turn.
Yep. So basically, a non-event. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, for a non-episode.
Are you up to speed on Mr. Robot yet?
I am. I am
What are you
so
thinking?
I am so fucking excited,
Yeah. Why?
because when the media, God damn it, when the media talks about Russian interference, I have some knowledge about how
John Congdon finding new ways to be annoying.
new ways to torture us. I know that the way that the Russian interference worked was a very deep and complicated system, very subtle, very vast, and truly fascinating. And Mr. Robot, which is known for showing the real way that hacks are executed, the real way that social engineering works in our society, for them to conquer the election run-up period and to expose the systems by which the Russian interference actually occurred could bring a huge insight into the events of the 2016 election to a group of people that only casually know about it. They are going to take on something that most people just say.
I think you're being a little more
Russian meddling.
hopeful for this, though.
People shrug their shoulders. You say Russian meddling, people shrug their shoulders. But when they show what meddling in an election actually looks like on a government versus government scale, which is what it looks like they're going to do, that's going to blow people away. People will be amazed at how much you can actually do with the power of a government trying to subterfuge another government technologically. It's people are going to be shocked. I can tell you that.
Cool. Well, the show's definitely picking up some speed with me. I almost gave up on it after the first episode. Then I kind of the very tail end of it kind of caught my attention. Watched the second one. Watched the third one.
Yeah, that monologue at the end of the first one really carried the whole episode.
Yeah, I personally have a pet peeve about these time traveling shows where you're in the future, then you're in the past, you're reliving these events.
It's not time travel.
It kind of works in this situation because there's so many different angles on what was happening, and kind of see what those angles were, and kind of get some resolution of questions of, okay, well, where was he during all this? Oh, that's where he was.
Yeah, and it buttons up the first season, which is a nice thing to do. The first.
Season, right.
Because the first season ends.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
and
the first season.
Yeah. So there's not really a lot of unanswered questions about the first season anymore. We basically have everything wrapped up in a nice with this most recent episode. Everything gets bundled up nicely. First season can be put away, and you don't have to worry about it. Now you have to remember the events of the second season and what's going to be coming in the third season.
Right.
So it stashes some of the back burner concerns people have always had.
All right.
Mr. Robot.
I think we're at a good spot. What do you guys think? Anything else you guys wanted to bring up, talk about, discuss?
I think we're good like 5 minutes ago.
I have an announcement.
Go ahead.
And then we'll wrap. I promise. Just an announcement. Then we'll wrap it up. Ajit Pai, head of the FCC, is determined, no matter what the input of the United States voter, to kill net neutrality, which threatens the jobs of everyone on this podcast and probably listening to this podcast and the future of the internet in general. The only way to stop the FCC at this point is to contact your local congressman. You can contact your congressman, tell them to fight the decision from the FCC, and they can override Ajit Pai and make sure that we still have a free internet next year. So please, before November 14th, contact your congressman, tell them that you live and thrive on the open internet and that the FCC's plans will impact you directly and hurt you. Battleforthenet.com.
Going there now.
That was almost meaningful. All right, battleforthenet.com. Right? Is that what you said?
We need to talk about that
Battle
at
for the
the
Net.
beginning of the podcast, not the end when people are like, "Why am I still listening to this?"
Oh, they're always waiting for the doom and gloom at the very end.
I will definitely check this out. Okay, gentlemen, I'm wrapping up. You guys can carry on without me if you like. I'm perfectly comfortable with that. This is an open relationship, Thomas. So whatever you and John feel like doing, you guys do it, and it's a thing. So I will see you guys.
Quote from earlier was, "I will say if we record without you, you don't show up enough to have that sort of authority." Seems kind of contrary to your current stance of an open relationship.
No, not at all.
You could
It's an
not at
open
all.
relationship. He just has to do what I tell him to do. That's all. It's perfectly
Ah, gotcha.
fine. Yeah. Okay. I'm Eric Van Johnson.
I'm John Congdon.
I'm Tom Rideout.
Keep
Keep
it
it
ugly.
Ugly. Hour 15 every time.